we should, of course, do this also, not only read about it. Because we go to great devotees, and we see some great devotee, and we assume great devotee means he has 2 eyes and 2 ears and a nose and tilak and all that. And that's okay, that's fine, and there are many great devotees in human form. But what this book is trying to point out to us, and what the acharyas are repeatedly reminding us, is that great devotees appear in all kinds of forms. Moving forms, non-moving forms, tree forms, bird forms. So we have to be receptive and willing to expand our vision, because we tend to limit our conceptions and think, no, he can't be a devotee. That dog, how can that dog, you're saying buck the dog. Why are you saying buck the dog? How can a dog be a devotee? He's not a human being. He's not an ISKCON. So do you know, you look at a dog, do you know if he's a great devotee? So Shivananda's saying he could see buck the dog. He traveled with Bhakti dog. He fed Bhakti dog and he brought him to Puri to have darshan of Lord Chaitanya. And he had darshan of Lord Chaitanya, then he attained prema and got liberated. Gave up his dog's body because all his karma was finished. When your karma is finished, your body's over. The karma for this body. It runs and then start again. Some more of the karma, the aprabdha karma becomes parabdha. So dogs can be great devotees. Bhakti tree, Bhakti dog, Bhakti galeri. So here, by hearing these verses, maybe we can broaden our vision, then respond by acting accordingly. 25 through 27. Let's see what is in store here. It's about obeisances to the trees. Pushpat pushpa phaladi sampad Akhilascharya Mahamaduri Puram Dura Nirastaduka Duritad Udvardham Manat Shavi Sandrananda Sudarno Udita Mahadvipendu Vrindavane Vrindam Sundara Sakinam Anudinam Vande Munindra Nutam. Prabhupada Saraswati says, I regularly offer my obeisances to the beautiful trees of Vrindavan, which are like rising moons on a great island in the midst of an ocean of bliss, which are enriched with fruits and flowers, which are most wonderful, which are just like a current of sweet nectar, which remove all kinds of distress, and whose effulgence is ever increasing. So we see this additional translation here, what it has to say here. Every day I bow before the trees, that wonderful with a wealth of blossoming flowers and fruits, flooded with sweetness, far from sins and suffering, their splendor increasing and glorified by the King of Sages. They're standing in Vrindavan, which is like a great moon island, risen from the nectar ocean of intense bliss. Well, the first point is that he's offering obeisances to the trees. And he's identifying them as merciful entities. They're beautiful and they're merciful. Sundaram and Kripam. Beauty and mercy, very nice combinations. Love above power, mercy above justice. So love means beauty. Love above power, mercy above justice. So he's saying these trees are very beautiful. What makes them beautiful is that they have so many fruits and flowers. This is the beauty of a tree, the fruits and flowers. Oh, look at that beautiful tree. What's so beautiful? There's no leaves. There's no flowers. It's winter time. It's Russia. The trees look like they're dead. There's not a leaf on the tree. Just standing there in hibernation waiting for spring. But no, the beauty is the fruits and the flowers. And moreover, they're so beautiful and so fragrant they're beautiful to look at, and they're fragrant to smell, and what to speak of taste, those delightful, charming, delightful fruits of Vrindavan. They're a combination of this beauty and taste that creates a stream of sweet nectar. That's what he's saying. And then, but they're merciful. They're not only beautiful. Many people are beautiful, but not merciful. The trees are very beautiful, laden with heavy succulent fruits and bursting with brilliantly shining, colorful flowers. But they're also merciful. What kind of mercy? They take away misery. They removed all kinds of distress. Puram Dura Nirasta Dukkha Duritad Mahamaduri Ascharya Mahamaduri. They're Mahamaduri, they're great, vast sweetness is Ascharya. It's amazing, it's wonderful, it's inconceivable. This is their sampad. Their sampad, their wealth is pushpa, full, and fruits and flowers. Pushpa Fal Adi, beginning, that's only the beginning. It's the beginning, is their flowers and their fruits, is their sampad, their wealth. Nakila Ascharya Mahamaduri. And they're so sweet, so that they're very sweet very sweet devotees. Very, very sweet devotees, and laden. Devotees also laden. What do they say? When a tree is heavily laden with fruits, then what does it do?
It bows down.
Bows down, bends down. So when someone is heavily laden with the 26 qualities of a devotee, then he naturally becomes humble and bows down. And because he's full of the fruits. Bhushanam, Sarubhushanam. Sarubhushanam, the ornaments of a devotee, the fruits of a devotee are his devotional qualities, his bhakti gun. And that makes him beautiful. And then he may be a beautiful bhajananandi, laden with so many fruits and flowers of devotional attributes and characteristics. But then if he preaches, then he's beautiful and merciful. So these trees are preaching because they're removing all kinds of distress. Are you in distress? Maybe. Most people are in distress one way or another. So here's some friends. These are friends of the distressed, friends of the poor, the trees of Vrindavan. I remember there used to be posters, to be signboards, what we call billboards. You call them hoardings, I think, and Bombay call them hoardings or something like that. Hoardings refers to misers that hoard their wealth. In America, someone who's hoarding their wealth is called a miser, hoarding his wealth, keeping it all to himself, not distributing it, not even spending it on himself. But in America they call it billboards for some reason. It's a board that tells you the day's bill. At any rate, with the Parent Teachers Associations in America, they have some groups like this, PTO, Parent Teachers Organization. I think India's copycatting that also. And they have their meetings and their functions to increase relationships between parents and students and parents and children. So they take out what is called public service announcements. And I remember distinctly one that came to mind, which I've spoken before. It shows a mother, and she's in one corner of the billboard, she's stirring some doll. In the other corner, the kid is playing with his toys in the room. And the title of the billboard says, "Have you hugged your kid today?" Have you hugged your kid today? And the implication is that people are becoming so impersonal, Nirvashe Shunnivad, and the women work and the kids go to nursery school and day school and private school and every school and all school and everything but love school. The kids go to every kind of school except love school. So that's the billboard. Have you hugged a tree today? Because we know we're in distress every day. That's obvious. I don't have to take out a hoarding or billboard. Are you in distress today? And everyone will say, yeah. Why you take a signboard to tell me that? What else is new? So this is what he's doing. Let's look at 26. Pushpashreni vikasa hasa yutaya gochoru vakshojaya samshlishta pulakali manitalata vadvat yaho satama krishnadhyana sanmuhu pulakino madviko darashavo natmanam cha param cha ya janata ime vrindatavi shakina. The transcendental trees of Vrindavan are embraced by their wives, the form of the creepers. And these transcendental trees are surrounded by bees, which resemble the gopis. Blossoming now, so he's saying that there's all these bees hovering around the trees trying to drink the honey nectar from the flowers and bzzz. He's saying they resemble gopis. Well, how is it they resemble gopis? Then he explains. Because blooming flowers resemble the gopis' smiles, and the flower clusters on the trees resemble the breasts of the gopis, and the shedding of honey by the flowers of these trees resembles the shedding of the gopis' tears when they see Krishna enter the forest. The trees completely forget themselves while being absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, and so do the gopis. It's actually explained that when Krishna leaves the forest in the afternoon in Aparan Leela 3:36 to 6, then he returns to Nandagan, then the trees become immersed in Viraha Bhav. The trees and flowers and plants and creepers of Vrindavan, they enter into the deep states of anguish and separation from Krishna. Oh, when is he coming back again? The flowers close and the leaves curl up and the branches kind of hang down in sadness, and they can't bear the whole night waiting for Krishna to come back again with the cowherd boys and his whole retinue of playful chums the next day. And then when Krishna comes out in the morning to enter the forest in his leelas during Purvan Leela from 8:24 in the morning to 11:36, and he returns there, then Brinda Devi goes ahead of him, Krishna, with her, and she and her assistant Van Devis and other Sakhi Manjaris helping her in arranging the leelas. And she says, hey, listen, hey trees, wake up, don't be so sad, look lively, come on, dress up now, dress up, oh trees, oh, get dressed up, guess who's coming, Sham's coming to your forest very soon. Put on your fresh clothes, in other words, the smile, the flowers and fruits are her clothes and the creepers are her dress. So she's telling the trees, wake up, and your sad day, the sad times of separation over. Soon Sham will touch you. He'll touch your creepers with his fingers, and he'll glance at your flowers with his eyes, and he'll smell your flowers and relish your fruits, and he'll touch your twigs and branches. You'll be so thrilled and happy by his association and touch. Come on, wake up, get ready. It's like if someone is pining in separation from their husband who went to China for 3 weeks, and he's not supposed to be back for 4 weeks, and then suddenly his brother comes or his sister comes and says, oh, guess what? Your husband's coming home. He just called in the airport. By surprise, he got 1 week off early. He's coming back. Then the wife will be so excited. Oh, he's coming. And then she'll get dressed and bathed and ornamented and put on all lipstick, fresh, everything looks so fresh and sweet and attractive to greet her husband, who she hasn't seen for some time, and feeling some sadness of separation. So the trees they forget themselves while being absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. Because when he leaves the forest, then all they have is their thoughts. They don't have as such sakshat darshan, but they have their thoughts, and then they forget everything. And the gopis are the same way. You see that when Krishna is in Nandagan, and he hasn't left yet for cowherding or Gocharan Leela, and the Sakhis are in their houses, they start singing about Krishna. And this Venu Geet, they sing about the glories of his flute, and they start singing bhajans, and so many songs glorifying Krishna's pastimes and activities, and his guna, his qualities, and his rupam, his beautiful form. And they become lost, they forget themselves. They forget themselves so much that they're moving here and there in the house, and they're making roti and stoking the fires and doing their household domestic chores in the morning time, but they become so much lost in forgetfulness as they deeply meet Krishna in their consciousness. And when they sit down in front of the churning pot, they have this big clay kamba, miti kamba, churning pot, and they put the churning rod in there, and then they take a bucket, they go to the well and they get some water, they pull up some water from the well, and they fill the churning pot with water, and they sit down and they start churning it. Oh, Krishna Kaniya now. And because they're forgotten everything, they're lost, they're vismita and Brahm, they're bewildered and lost, and they're simply singing about Krishna, they've forgotten everything, even they're churning water instead of yogurt. They're thinking that this is yogurt, and they can't see, they can't understand, and their mother-in-laws come along and say, Hare, you Pagolini, what are you doing? Look what you're doing. You're just singing this, that, this, that, singing along. Don't you pay attention to what you're doing? Nonsense. This daughter-in-law, although embraced by their vine wives, whose smiles are blooming flowers, whose large breasts are flower clusters, whose hairs erect with joy are black bees, the trees of Vrindavan forest shedding tears of Madhvika honey, and the hairs of their bodies erect because of the nectar of meditation on Krishna, unaware either of themselves or others. It's a little roundabout way of saying things. He's a good editor. But this is another glorification of the trees. And then there's text 27 is part of this section here. Yesham madhaya divyam kusama kishalayam to mita prema murti gora shamo kisharvati chaturatamo veni chudhari kritva Poshpam nirmaya geham shayanam mata phalam prashasya sidani pitva kurvate divya kelim ta uru taru vara bhanti Vrindavaniya. All glories to the trees of Vrindavan, for the fair and dark complexion divine young couple of Vrindavan, who are the personifications of ecstatic love. They, Radha and Krishna, they decorate their mukut, their beni and mukut, with the transcendental flowers and twigs from the trees of Vrindavan. Radha and Krishna build houses made of flowers, and they make beds made of flowers, which are collected from those trees. And then the divine couple, Radha Madhav, engage in enjoying amorous pastimes after eating the fruits of those trees and drinking the honey which is made from the flowers of those trees, honey wine, especially kusum, Kadamba flowers. Kadamba flowers, they mix with honey and water and let it ferment for a while, makes a tasty brew. It's called Madhvika nectar, Madhvika Amrit. It's an intoxicating beverage that enlivens the senses and stimulates desire and creates all kinds of joyous sentiments in the dancing hearts of the gopis and Krishna alike. A good time is guaranteed for all. So it really helps to smooth out the pastimes to have a little honey wine. If you're Krishna. No one else is allowed to imitate their pastimes. This is chapter 5, verse 52 and 53. Remember, the theme of this discussion is obeisances to the trees of Vrindavan. He nitya nirvikara niratishaya guna nisprapanchana sabhava nirdosha nitya mukta nigamagan samudgita divyanubhava anandapara samvid rasagana vapusha krishna bhavaika magnas tan vande Srila Vrindavana taru nikaran sarvasavartan datrin. I offer my humble obeisances to the transcendental Vrindavan trees, which are eternal, unchangeable, unique in qualities, fully spiritual, faultless, eternally liberated, ecstatic, full of knowledge. And those trees, their transcendental glories are always being sung by the Vedas. And these trees are absorbed in thought of Krishna. Krishna Bhav Magnas. Krishna Bhav Magnas. Ananda Para Samvid Rasagana Vapusha. And they award the highest goal of life to the people of the entire world. Sarva Sarva Arta Datrin. Datrin. Tarunikaran. Trin, the teen lokas, Bhurvuvaswa. Datrin. They give Sarvarta, all the Sarva Sarvarta, all the possible desirable objectives and goals and wants can be attained simply from the Vrindavan Taru, Brinda Taru. And I offer obeisances to those beautiful trees of Vrindavan which are so beneficial and so special and so unique. Vandevis are different classes of Sakhis that specialize in assisting Brinda Devi in her forest, adjusting the forest, Vandevis. But there's a large group. There's some immediate Sakhis and Manjaris that are also acting as Vandevis in appropriate leelas. And then there's the personification of the Van itself. Each Van has a presiding Devi. Lohavan Devi, Madhavan Devi, Vrindavan Devi, Brinda Devi's Vrindavan. And then there's Devis of the different seasons. Sharad Devi. You heard of Sharad? Sharad Ritu. Sharad is female word. Sharad. Sharad Ritu and Grishma. Grishma Ritu means hot season. Grishma, Sharad. Then Shirsha. Shirsha, I think Shrisha. Shrisha means icy winter time. Shrisha. These are Sanskrit names. Shrisha Ritu Devi. And then there's Vasant. You heard of Vasant? There's also Vasant Ritu Devi. So the presiding Devis of the different seasons who are residing in the forest. And then there's the Sakhis and Manjaris who do that seva. And then there's the Adivasis, the Pulinda women who are also Vandevis. They live in the forest and their Devis are residing out there and collecting kasturi and kunkum and so many things for the seva of Radha Krishna. And wild flowers and fruits and they're preparing honey wine, also the Manjaris and Sakhis. And they collect gunja berries, and then the Manjaris go and bargain and buy them from the Pulinda women, or they collect themselves. So these are different types of females that serve the Lord and Radharani and Krishna and the Van Devis. So that was 52, and this is 53. Divya neka vichitra pushpafal Baranamra shakan mahavistirnan Paramotritan kagakule samrava kolahalan Kirandran dala palavais tata ito matali malakulan Vande Syandi Maranda Sandra Susiran Vrindatavi Shakina. Syandi Maranda Sandra Sudan. I worship the transcendental trees of Vrindavan. which are bending with the heavy weight of transcendental flowers and fruits, expanded branches, and they're very tall, and there's so much beautiful musical sounds coming from the branches and leaves of those trees that are full of excited birds, like parrots and cuckoos and titterbugs. And these trees are so rich in their foliage, so thick with their leaves and twigs, that sun rays do not even penetrate the canopy of their branches to reach the ground. So it becomes, even in the daytime, it's nighttime inside the kunjas. The kunjas is nighttime, even in the daytime. Nighttime means no sun. Because kunja leelas are hasya leela. Nibrita nikunja leela. Nibrita, solitary, private. The sun is not invited. The sunshine is not invited there. Moonshine is welcome. Moonshine is described as passing through the filter of trees and dancing on the floor. You can read it in Nanda Vrindavan Champu. Moonlight is invited to Kunja Leela, but sunlight is not. So in the daytime in the Leelas, there's no sun, it's dark. You go in a dark forest, they say. The forest is dark, richly foliated. And these trees are agitated by the flying, humming bees, and these trees supply ever-increasing mellows of nectarine love of God. Susudan, Maranda, Sandra. Sandra means concentrated. Makaranda means pollen, nectar. Sudan means nectar. Ever-increasing mellows of nectarine love of God. The trees are very extraordinary and powerful entities. You hear from this handful of verses about worshipping them and offering obeisances to them. It's certainly a good thing to do. That's the conclusion. Have you hugged a tree today? Have you bowed down on the ground and put your head at the base of a tree and offered your prayers to the roots of the trees? Vrikshamul, Shravanam. It's explained in the Bhagavatam that trees hear, the ears of the trees are in their roots. They hear through their roots. So you have to lie on the ground in dandavats in front of your favorite kalpavriksha trees and speak out your sankalpa and prayers to the Mother Earth, and hoping that vibration will penetrate the earth and reach the root ears of the trees. Please bless me with ever-increasing mellows of nectarine love of God. Please bless me with ever-increasing mellows of nectarine love of God. It's a nice thing to pray for. I bow down before the great trees of Vrindavan, which are filled with leaves and sprouts, maddened bees, tumultuous birds, streams of nectar, honey, and branches bow with many splendid, wonderful flowers and fruits. So this is another translation. I rather like the former than the latter. The trees supply ever-increasing mellows of nectarine love of God. This is a nice point. Matali mala kulan. Mala. Kulan means mala. Tata ito matali. Ali means bees. Mata means mad. Maddened bees are surrounding all those flowers. Those mala of kulan, all those groups of flower malas. It's actually explained in Govinda Lilamrita that the trees, when the gopis go to pick flowers, not all the time, but sometimes, when they go to pick flowers, the garlands are just hanging in the trees. They go to a mogra tree, and the mogra tree, or mogra bush, or say a rose bush, or whatever, or in the trees of Vrindavan, Kadamba tree, and they say, "Oh, Saki, look, there's garlands there." And they have, so whatever, the garlands are hanging in the branches, and they simply lift them up and put them in some special little basket, keep them fresh, with a little thin, moist cloth they put over them. And they whisk them off to the kunja where Radha and Krishna are enjoying, and when the appropriate time comes, they offer them a fresh garland. And Radharani says, "Oh, Sakhi, oh Manjari, it's such a beautiful garland you made." Yeah, I made this nice garland. But actually, the tree made the flowers, and the tree strung the flowers, and the tree made the garland. The tree did everything. So that's why it says, third line, tat ito mattali malakulan. So mala means flower garlands, and ali means bees, and mata means mad. And kula means there's lots of them, like Guru Kula, there's groups of them. There's families of them. Your kula, what's your kula, like they say. So there's lots of them. Many trees have many garlands. And the bees are going crazy. Alis are going completely crazy, buzzing all around those malakulan, all those groups of garlands hanging from the trees, and bees are just buzzing. So fragrant, so much nectar oozing from these sweet, colorful flowers. They're going crazy, and buzzing like mad bees. So let us close on that prayer. We fall at the base of the trees, we offer our obeisances, and we pray that they will bless us with the opulences. They have so much sampad, but the main sampad that we're hankering for is we beg them to supply us and grant us and give us the highest goal of life, which is to be absorbed in the ever-increasing mellows of nectarine love of God and the service of Radha Govinda Yugal and the groves of Vrindavan. Vrindavan Mahimamrita Ki Jai. So now we're discussing Vrindavan Vriksha Mahima, the glories of the trees of Vrindavan. And we heard yesterday lots of verses about obeisances, the value of offering obeisances to the trees and how we should do that regularly. And we're going to continue with chapter 5 and verse 91 through 94. Divyananta Sputita Kusama Moda Mattali Mala Jankarena Pratipada Mahananda Madvika Vrishtya Huriyaner Dishi Maha Ramya Rage Parager Bande Vrindavipina Uditam Divya Shakindra Vrindam. Prabhupada Saraswati Tungavidya Saki prays, O Vrindavan, I offer my respectful obeisances unto your wonderful transcendental trees. These beautiful trees are saturated with the fragrance of unlimited, transcendental, fully blossomed flowers. And their trees are drenched with nectar showers of transcendental bliss. And the trees are filled with the sound of humming bees, which is saturated by the pollen of various kinds of flowers. So we're offering obeisances to the trees. Now, we have to think that we're reading this as kind of a static experience. We're reading someone else's book, which is a description of his experiences, his sporties, his experiences, his memories, his prayers, his feelings while doing bhajan as a sadhaka, an external consciousness, and as a siddha, and sporti and visporti in his siddhadeya. And it's all collected here in one compendium, Vrindavan Mahimamrita. And we can think that let's be there. We're walking with Prabhupada Saraswati, and he's walking along the banks of the Yamuna, and suddenly it's autumn season, and we're walking with him, and there's huge Kadamba Kandi, there's a huge forest of Kadamba trees on the bank of the Yamuna. And when he sees those trees, Prabhupada Saraswati is walking next to us, starts walking quickly. And then he goes to the trees, he goes up to the Kadamba trees, and he pays obeisances. And when he pays obeisances, then his nose becomes saturated with a wonderful sweet fragrance from the blossoming Kadamba flowers. And while his head is at the roots of the Kadamba trees offering humble obeisances and respectful prayers, he smells this wonderful fragrance rushing into his nose and enlivening his heart and consciousness, and it becomes a very udipan. It's actually a vibhav udipan to stimulate sthairati for Krishna, the kadamba trees and flowers and the tamal trees and flowers. And being a pure devotee, he becomes stimulated just by the saurabh, kadamba saurabh, by the fragrance of the kadamba flowers in full bloom as he's paying obeisances at the base. And we run up behind him and we also pay obeisances. We're right next to him. And we're smelling the kadamba flowers. And then he starts to enter deep into his heart, and his consciousness starts to go merge into the lila, enter the domain of lila pravesh. And then as he's just about to go on internal consciousness, then he hears bzzz, all these buzzing bees are flying around those nectar-rich kadamba flowers. And then he hears them. And he hears them. And then he wakes up and he opens his eyes and he looks very closely at the kadamba flowers. And he notices how beautiful they are and how they're dusted. All the kadamba flowers are oozing very small little drops of nectar, and they're all sprinkled. The whole head of the flower, the whole body of the flower, the globe-like flower of the kadamba is sprinkled by pollen, flower pollen. Krishna Deva Bhavantam Hande Manamanasam Marukaramarpaya Nija Parapankaja Makarande. Parapankaja Makarande. Pankaja means lotus flower, Makarande means the pollen. So the Kadamba Makarande or the Padma Makarande is a very fragrant, beautiful, soothing and satisfying fragrance and sight to see and smell. So this is what he's writing. Oh, today I saw the Kadamba trees, and what a wonderful experience I had today. Let me write this in my diary. Oh, I offer my respectful obeisances under the transcendental trees of Vrindavan, like the Kadamba tree, which is saturated by the fragrance of a limited. You see? This is experiential. This is not imagination writing. This is not science fiction. It's not non-fiction. It's not fiction. It's not science fiction or fiction. It's not a novel or a love story. Well, it is a love story. It is a transcendental love story of one pure devotee in love with Vrindavan. Vrindavan is the form of Radha and Krishna. So to be in love with Vrindavan means to be in love with Radha and Krishna. If one loves the trees and loves the creepers and loves the birds and loves the animals and loves the Yamuna and loves Giriraj and loves Sevakunj and loves Radhakund and loves Barsan and Nandagram, that means he loves Radha and Krishna. Either he loves Radha and Krishna, or by loving those personalities who are in some cases directly Radha and Krishna or expansions of their energy, then that practice of expressing his love towards Vrindavan will bring him to love for Radha and Krishna. Nam, Rup, Gun, Lila, Dham, Parishishta. Nam, Rup, Guna, Lila, Dham, Parishishta. These are all transcendental. Tadinam Samarchanam. Radhanam Sarveshanam Vishnu Radhanam Param. Tadinam Samarchanam. Devi, the verse spoken by Lord Shiva in the Bhagavatam, he's saying that of all the worshipable things, Radhanam Sarveshanam Vishnu Radhanam Param. Of all the worshipable things, Vishnu Radhanam, the worship of Vishnu, God, Krishna, Ram, Radha and Krishna is the topmost form of Aradhanam. The worship of Vishnu is the topmost form of Aradhanam, and the topmost form of Aradhanam is a type of worship of Vishnu, which means the worship of Krishna done by Radharani. Therefore she's known as Radhika or Radha. Tadinam Samarchanam. Tadinam Samarchanam. And Tadiya, those things which are related to them, related to Radha and Krishna, Tadinam Samarchanam, they are equally archan, equally objects of worship, equally worshipful. So Vrindavan is very much related to Radha and Krishna. And so are the trees and vines and squirrels and birds and dogs and mountains and rivers and Varsana and Nandagam and Radhakund and everything. So they're equally worshipful. Love me, love my dog. Love me, love my Vrindavan, we should say. We have a t-shirt, I love Vrindavan. That people in Delhi wear it. I have that joke, and I have that joke. Yeah, you wear a t-shirt, I love Vrindavan, but you live in Delhi, which means you love Delhi. Because if you love, can you live separately from the person you love? I love my wife. Where is she? She's in Siberia. That's nice. How long has she been there? 25 years. Oh, you really love her? Yeah, I love her so much. Every year I think about her and send her a birthday card. So I love Vrindavan. It means that either mentally 24 hours a day or living in Vrindavan, which means no cricket, no movies, no mundane restaurants, no mundane anything. Or you close up your shop and move to Vrindavan and stake your claim in the virgin territory of Vrindavan, Vrindavan of the heart. I bow down before Vrindavan's trees, which at every moment showers supremely blissful Madhvika nectar, which spread charming reddish pollen in all directions. The trees are filled with buzzing bees, intoxicated by the fragrance of limitless, splendid, blossoming flowers. Well, he's bowing down, and it means because everything is alive. Vrindavan is alive with sounds. Vrindavan is alive with colors. Vrindavan is alive with feelings. Vrindavan is alive with blessings. Vrindavan is alive with love. When one is full of love, he's full of life. So Vrindavan is full of life and full of love. So someone who lives in Prem Dham Vrindavan, he will gradually, the Prem Dham will have its effect. The sinner will become a saint. The rogue will become honest, become a charity giver. Text 92. Divya Nantad Bhutatama Maharamya Jati Dhruvalir Divya Sheshar Tagam Anugama Maha Sat Faloru Prasuna Radha Krishna Pranaya Paramamsh Chidgara Kamarupa Brindaranye Sakala Purushart Tat Yudhara Smarami. The transcendental trees of Vrindavan supply unlimited quantities of transcendental fruits and flowers in all seasons. They are attractive, full of spiritual ecstasy, and very dear to Radha and Krishna. The most magnanimous trees in Vrindavan, they are most magnanimous because they award all the objectives of life. Sakala Purushartha, Udhara. Udhara means they're very merciful, magnanimous. Therefore I meditate on such trees of Vrindavan. I meditate on Vrindavan's splendid, limitless, most wonderful, charming trees and vines, which bear splendid fruits and flowers in every season, which are spiritual, can assume any form they wish. They are great philanthropists that fulfill all desires, which are filled with love for Radha and Krishna. And this is text 21, because it's about obeisances. Of course, you can just substitute obeisances in any of them, I suppose. But let's read this. Yesham Chayasu Sita Swati Madhura Sudha Shikara Sara Varsher Lesam Shikta Katro Yarutita Kusamadhyastareshu Pavishto Shri Radha Krishna Chandra Yaruparita Mahaswadima Shri Falani Swadete Samstuvanto Mituru Uru Rasado Nomi Vrindavanam Drun. I offer my obeisances to the trees of Vrindavan. In the cooling shade of these trees, Radha and Krishna, or Radha Krishna Chandra, they sit in a tent decorated with flowers, and are soothed by a shower of nectar. The divine couple, the youthful divine couple, Yugala Kishore, relish the most tasty fruits offered by these trees and praise them lavishly. This is a beautiful sporty he's having, beautiful vision in his inner heart's meditation. He's offering obeisances to the trees for two purposes, because they're so glorious and they are the site of many of Radha and Krishna's splendid transcendental pastimes. But he's also offering obeisance to the trees for another reason. Because the trees have given him a gift. So he's very grateful. If someone gives you a gift, or a very glorious gift, you may be very respectful and very grateful and very thankful. So to express his thanks, his gratitude and appreciation to the divine trees of Vrindavan, Vrindavan Das Thakur is offering his obeisances. Oh, Kalpavriksha trees of Vrindavan, I offer my obeisances to you because by your mercy, by your kindness, I have received a sporti. I received a sporti of the pastimes of Radha Govinda Yugal. And what sporti is that? What vision, what pastime did I see? This pastime, underneath this tree. Srinivasacharya glorifies the 6 Goswamis for that. They were doing the same thing, having a darshan of pastimes and having sportis and realizations about the Leela Stalis of the Lord by receiving mercy from Yoga Maya and Bhakti Devi, Yoga Maya and Chaitya Guru, and of course the trees of Vrindavan. Srinivasacharya glorifies that happening, or that event, by saying, Nana Rat Kujat Ko Kilaham Sasara Sagana Kirne Mayura Kule Nana Ratna Nivada Mula Vitapa Shri Yukta Vrindavane Radha Krishna Harnisham Prabhajato Jivarta Doyo Muda Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyago Sri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Sri Jiva Gopalako Vande Rupa Sanatana Raghuyago Sri Jiva Gopalako. Srinivas glorifies the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, and they were sleeping under different trees every night. Nana Ratna Nibada Mula Vitapa Shruta Vrindavane. Mula Vitapa, underneath the canopy of flowers and leaves and branches at the mula, at the base, at the root of the trees, they were sleeping by the trunks of the trees, Rupa and Sanatan, and Jiva, etc. And then Yukta Vrindavane, they were linked up, they were connected with Vrindavan, Nitya Vrindavan, Aprakrita Vrindavan. The trees were connecting their hearts and minds with the Prakrita Vrindavan by their mercy, because they were praying to the trees. Oh, please reveal. You must be a Leela Stali. Oh, Kadamba tree, you must be the site of some Leela. What Leela? Please reveal. Then they would fall asleep, or in Swapna, or in Sporti, they would see, this is the pastime. This is Ter Kadamba. This is where Krishna, the word Ter means to call. T-E-R means to call. This is the calling tree. This is the Samachar Briksha, the news tree. So Krishna would climb up on the branch of this tree and he would call the cows. Oh, Shavali, Damali, Jamune, Gange, Saraswati, Chandani. Ow, Jali, ow. He would call them, because he'd climb up on the trees and he could see this, they've gone so far away. First he would play his Vamshi, and there would be no response, and he would climb the tree and tear. He would call them, and then they would come this way, and sometimes Krishna would milk the cows over here because he couldn't wait to get to the barn, take them back to Nanaraj at the huge Goshala, nearby there, not there. But sometimes Krishna would milk some cows there because he was too thirsty, couldn't wait for breakfast. So he'd milk some cows there, or he'd play with Radharani there. Radharani would pass through there on her way to Nandagram to cook Krishna's breakfast during Pratakal, every morning, 6 to 8:30, and Krishna would play tricks on her. Like one day he said, Oh, Priyaji, come. See this beautiful sandalwood colored cow. This cow is named Chandani. See, look how gentle she is. See, look how beautiful her horns. Isn't she so beautiful? and her beautiful, soft, moist nose. And she's very gentle and very sweet. She's so charming to look at, very soothing and satisfying. But there's something very special about this cow, Chandani, that I never seen in any other cow. Did you know, on this particular cow, Priyaji, on the bottom of the stan, on the bottom of the udder, there's the shape of a lotus flower. There's a design of a lotus flower. It's actually designed right in the udder itself, in the cow's udder, milk, where the milk comes out. And Radharani says, "Oh, really, Priyatam? I never seen any of my father's cows. I never heard or seen. Well, this is very special. I have the only cow like this. Do you want to see that lotus flower?" Yes. So Radharani leans over, to see that imprint or that design of lotus flower in the stan or the udder of Chandani, Krishna's cow. And then Krishna quickly, he pulls the udder and a stream of white milk comes flying out of the udder and splashes Radharani's face. Then all the cowboys clap and laugh and giggle, and Madhavangal says, he. And then Lalita Sakhi says, "Hey, chup. Hey, Gopas, chup. What is this? Don't laugh at our Swamini. We'll get back at you, you rascals." So all these pastimes came streaming through the spurti of Rupa Goswami as he reclined and rested under the sacred kadamba trees in Nandagan at Terrakadamba. So in this way, they were realizing the pastimes, so the trees of Vrindavan can talk. The talking trees. The trees of Vrindavan can teach, teaching trees. The trees of Vrindavan can bless, blessing trees. Thakur had this wonderful spurti, so now he's offering obeisances to the trees, and because he saw this wonderful Leela, what did he see? He saw this Kunja Leela. He saw in this beautiful Kunja, his Kusamvan, he saw Radha and Krishna together, and they had just enjoyed their love dalliance, and the Manjaris and Sakhis had prepared so many wonderful trays of some fruit salad and various fruits to give to them. And then he's watching, you will be sure. Sometimes Radharani, sometimes there's different ways she feeds Krishna. Sometimes she takes a mango, there's called chosa mango, or chusha or something. There's one type of skinny mango, you just cut the end of it, then you squeeze it a little bit to get the poison juice out. There's always first you have to squeeze, get the poison out. And then she hands it to Krishna, and Krishna just squeezes it and sucks on it. There's one kind of mango that you eat by sucking it directly from the skin, and when you don't peel the skin. It's called chosa. Chosa means you suck, you don't peel it back and cut it into pieces and put it on a plate. It's not that, it's different. So then other mango, and so she just prepares it like that and washes it and hands it to Krishna, and he just sucks on it. Chaturvida Shri Bhagavad Prasad. Chaturvida. There's 4 kinds of Bhagavad Prasad that which can be licked, chewed, drunk, and sucked. So sucking is also there. So then sometimes when Radharani, she gets these mangoes, and then she peels them and she cuts them into beautiful pieces. Then she takes the pieces and offers them into Krishna's mouth. Vrindavan Thakur, Prabhupada Saraswati is seeing this beautiful pastime of the divine couple relishing the most tasty fruits offered by these trees and prepared by the Manjaris. And the Radha and Krishna are praising the trees and saying, these, Krishna says, look, Radharani, these mango trees in Vrindavan are so wonderful. They've given us these nice fruits. And even Krishna is showing some thanksgiving. The Christians have a concept of prayers of thanksgiving. Prayers of thanksgiving. Thank you, my Lord, for giving us food. I remember when I grew up as a Christian person, then my parents, we used to have to pray before we eat. Say the prasadam prayer. My mother and father would say Shadi Ram Vidya. No. But they would recite some prayer and we would repeat after them, and oh God, my Father, you have sent us this bread and this and that. I don't know, whatever. I forget. It's been a while. I forget what it is. But the idea was that we would pray every night. This was inculcated in us by our parents, that we were supposed to be grateful to God and indebted to God as the Father and provider and protector and maintainer and well-wisher and friend, ultimately, and guide. This was all taught to us from our childhood, and that's what we did. We offered prayers before we ate. And then we came to ISKCON, and they do the same thing. So, my Lord, you have sent us this nice prasadam, spiritual food, just to help conquer over the tongue. Now let us take this prasadam to our full satisfaction, and in so doing glorify your Lordship, Sri Sri Radha and Krishna, and love call out for the mercy of Gauranitai. Prema Deko, Chaitanya Nitai, and with love call out. So this was, of course, part of the prayer. So in the same way, Lord, when we say that prasadam prayer, we say, "Thank you, my Lord. My Lord, thank you. You've given us this nice prasadam, spiritual food, just to help conquer over the tongue. And the tongue is most voracious and uncontrollable of all the senses. Of all the senses, the most difficult to control. But you, my dear Lord Krishna, are so very kind to us. You've sent us this nice Bhagavad prasadam. Now let us take this prasadam to our full satisfaction." That's the whole prayer. Shadira avidyajal. This material body is a lump of ignorance. Shadira avidyajal. It's a network, a jal. The translation initially was a lump. His body is a lump of ignorance. And the senses are a network of paths leading to death. That's Maya jal. Shadira avidyajal jatendriya tehekal. Jivafale says sagare. Beautiful prayer, very beautiful prayer. So in the same way, Radha and Krishna, they're relishing this wonderful fruits which in their Nara Leela, and their beautiful innocent teenage consciousness, teenagers, they think, oh, these tasty fruits, they're offered by these trees. They're offered by Krishna. Krishna's eating the fruits, he designed the fruits, he made the fruits, he's the artist, he's the creator, he's the painter, he painted the mangoes red, he painted them orange and yellow. He put the taste in there. He's a taste in mangoes and taste of everything. But he's saying, oh, the trees are so kind. They oh, look, Radharani. Oh, look. Oh, Priyaji. See out the mango. Look, the pilo trees are giving us nice pilo fruits. And the kiwi trees are giving us nice kiwis. And the guava trees are giving us nice guavas. And this is so wonderful. And then they're accepting the fruits, and they start praising the trees. Radha and Krishna start praising the trees lavishly. And Radharani says, oh yes, Shyam. Oh Shyam, you're right, these trees are wonderful. They give such tasty fruits. But let us not forget the mandris. Let's not forget my mandris who brought them here and prepared them so attractively and beautifully on these sapari plates. Sapari trays. They have trays made of sapari, not only plates and whole large trays made of sapari leaves. Looks like bark. Have you ever seen those plates we serve out at our feast? You have sometimes? That's sapari leaf. You know sapari? A pan. That's the leaf of the sapari. They dry it and prepare it that way. Makes a leaf cup. It's looks like wood. Very hard and very nice, attractive. So in the forest, Vrindavan provides all these kind of natural sapari trays, and the mandris make the fruits and design them very beautifully, and slices and green slices, and then white apples, and then orange and mango. Very beautiful designs. Looks like rangoli. The designs on the Bhog offering plate. So the mandris make all this, and then for Radha and Krishna's pleasure. So he's offering obeisances to these trees because he received this wonderful darshan, this wonderful leela, and he's sharing it with us. So we can only hope that someday we'll offer obeisances to the trees of different leela stalis, and we'll pray to them sincerely, please, 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 reveal to me some glimmer of the leela that took place here at Vamshivat, or at Sevakunj, or Nidhivan, or Radhakund. 653, page 210. Ye Shri Radha Murali Dharayo Srila Padara Vinda Sparshanadat Pulakita Tanu Snandamana Shrudara Yat pushpadye swayam atirasat to mito veshayetam. Vrindaranya drumatanu maha danya danyan namastan. I offer my obeisances unto the most glorious personalities in the form of the Vrindavan trees, which shed tears when they are touched by the lotus feet of Radha Murlidhar. The divine couple, Radha Gopinath, blissfully decorate each other with flowers of those trees. So there's another sporty here. Prabhupada Saraswati is glorifying the personalities of the trees. Sparsanadat Pulakita Tanos Nandamashridharam. Sri Radha Murlidhar, Srila Prabhupada. The divine young couple decorate each other with flowers. So this is 653. I offer my respectful obeisances to Vrindavan's fortunate trees, which sweetly decorate the divine couple with many flowers and other ornaments, and which overcome with bliss by the touch of Radha Murlidhar's beautiful lotus feet, shed streams of tears and find the hairs on their bodies erect in ecstasy. Trees are extremely ecstatic, being part and parcel of the Leelas of Radha Murlidhar. They're experiencing septic vikars or ecstatic symptoms because they've been touched by the feet of Radha and Krishna. And he's saying that he's offering obeisances to the personalities. He's saying personalities in the form of trees. Brindaranya Drumatanu Mahadanya Tanyan Namastan. So he says these are most glorious personalities. Namastan, I offer my obeisances. Namas. Danya Tanyan Mahad, they're most fortunate, opulent, wealthy. Tanu, they're Druma Tanu, that means bodies. Tanu means human body, and Druma means tree. Brindaranya Drumatanu. Those persons, those bodies, those humans, those personalities, they've taken a Druma form. Brindaranya Druma. They've taken the form of the trees of Vrindavan. But they're personalities. And they have feelings and hearts, and they reciprocate, and they hear, and they speak, and they see, and they listen. And they're witnesses of Radha Murlidhar's pastimes. So here he's having this sporty. He's offering obeisances to the trees again. And this time, these bakul trees. He's offering obeisances because the Kunja Mandir, it's sometimes described in the four corners of the Kunja Mandir of four bakul trees. And then in the four walls of the Kunja, joining each of those four bakul trees in the corner, they're closed off, those open spaces are closed off by various mogra flowering bushes and trees, and many tight shrubs so no one can see through, and there's some little interstitices, they call them, interstitices, little space between the leaves and vines where you can see through a little bit. If you have the adhikar, if you have the eligibility, you can see through, and the mantris can witness the intimate exchanges of Radha and Krishna and their confidential private leelas inside the kunjas. But Prabhupada Saraswati, he's seeing them, that after having this forest feast, then of fruits, which we heard earlier, then he has another vision that Radha and Krishna, after eating, they slept for some time, and then they woke up, and then Radharani was in a Swadhina Bhatrika mood. She was in a dominating, controlling mood, and she says, "Oh Krishna, we've just slept some time, and we've enjoyed, and my hair is all disheveled and disarrayed. So you please, you take my comb, which is called swastida. It's called swastida. You take my comb and you make my beni as it was before, and I want you to decorate my hair with flowers, like Shringarvat. So then Keshava, Sri Krishna Keshava, is expert at dressing Kesh. He's an expert hairdresser. Kesha means the Adi hairdresser. The Adi hairdresser is Keshava. We say Adi Keshava, it means Adi hairdresser. He's the original hairdresser, Sri Krishna, very expert at dressing Radharani's hair, and dressing means combing and decorating.
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pratharine Nirvichesha Shunyavadi Pachakya Vishadharine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Bhakta Vrinda Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Bhakta Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Bhakta Vrinda Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Vatsala Sri Gaura Hari Vajabhakata Vatsala Sri Gaura Hari Sri Gaura Hari Sahi Goshta Bihari Nanda Jasomati Chita Hari Dhira Damodara Ishaye Kono Bhova Mandire Bashi Karaha Bojano Nandira Nideshi Bashi Giri Baradari Baladeva Saha Sokha Boise Sari Sari Shukta Shakhadi Vaji Lalita Kushmanda Dalidana Dugda Tumi Dadi Mocha Kanda Dabora Mash Boda Rotika Gritana Saskuli Pistaka Kir Puli Payasana Kapura Amrita Keli Ramba Kirashara Amrita Rasalama Dvadasha Pakora Luci Sinisar Puri Ladura Sabali Bhojana Korena Krishna Hoye Kutuhali Radhikara Pakayana Bibida Byanjana Paramayanande Krishna Korena Bhojana Chale Bale Ladu Khai Sri Madhu Mangala Bagala Bajaya Deya Hari Bolo Radhikari Gani Heri Nayane Rakone Tripta Hoye Kai Krishna Jasoda Bhavani Bhojanande Priye Krishna Subhasita Bari Sabe Mukha Prakaloy Hore Sari Sari Asta Mukha Prakaliya Jata Sakagane Anande Vishrama Kore Baladeva Sane Jambula Rasalane Kambula Masala Tahake Krishna Chandra Sukhe Nidradela Vishalaka Shiki Pucha Chamara Dulaya Apurva Saya Krishna Sukhe Nidaya Yasomati Anga Priye Danishtaya Nito Sri Krishna Prasad Radha Unje Hoye Prito ठारी साकी गाना अवशेष पाया मन मन सुखे राधा कृष्ण गुण गाया हरि लीला एकमात्र जहाँ प्रमोदा भोगारती गाय ठाकुर भक्ति विनोदा कथा वत्सल श्री गौर हरि भज कथा वत्सल श्री गौर हरि श्री गौर हरि सहि गोष्ठ बिहारी श्री गौर हरि सहि गोष्ठ बिहारी नंद जसोमती चित हरि नंद जसोमती चित हरि भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला भज गोविंद गोविंद गोपाला
राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे राधे गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 गोविंद गोविंद राधे 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Sing everybody. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama,
Govinda, Radhe, Radhe Radhe, Govinda.